What's up, guys? It's Hot Wheels Tournaments here with another Matchbox moving parts case review here for 2022. And I'm going to have to be honest, I didn't think to check what assortment this was before the start of the year or start of the video. We're flying through them at this point. The first case hit earlier in the year, and then we didn't see much. We've seen the second case. I think this is case 5. I want to say this is case 5. This is mix 4. This is mix 5. I'm pretty sure it's mix 5. Anyways, it's got 6 cars in it. It's got 2 new models. We are going to go through, open all of them, starting in order of the number for the year. So that brings us to our first new model of the case. Of course, the new models are always the first of the line. So number 9 of 54, the 2021 Fiat 500e. Now, Matchbox has quotas, Hot Wheels has quotas now. They have to make a certain number of electric vehicles in their toy line, just to promote EVs, I guess, which I find a little weird with like toy cars. They don't use gas. I don't know. I guess it just promotes EVs. I don't know. They're based in California, so I'm sure there's some kind of regulation there that they have. But this is the Matchbox Fiat 500e. I can't say I pay a lot of attention to the Fiat 500 car in total. Diecast wise, the 500e looks very similar to the 500 does. You can see here it comes in a nice teal color. Hot Wheels just released the Fiat 500e as well this year, and funnily enough, it looks very similar. It comes in a very similar color. The only difference is the Matchbox is stock and it has a moving hatch, and the Hot Wheels has racing stripes on it. So you know what that means? It means the Matchbox is probably about 10 times freaking better, at least in my opinion. But as you take a look at it, you can see headlights, lights below, get that grille tampoed in, nice deco there, 500 logo on the front. That is very clean. Get the nice, what's that? Those are 6 spokes with chrome rims. Nice detailing on the side, nice detailing on the roof and the hood. This is really nice. Wow. You turn it around, you get the 500 on the license plate, 500E on the rear, and then some taillights. And my favorite opening parts feature, I talk about all the time. I love opening trunks. I think that's amazing. Unfortunately, this one's a little barren. A lot of them get some detailed opening trunks. This one really doesn't. I'm going to guess, though, that's because this car is tiny. And where that plastic ends, there's not really a lot of room to do stuff there. But I love the opening trunks. I think they look so clean. I think they work so well. And yeah, honestly, I mean, for a Fiat 500, that is a high-quality car. This is warming the pegs at Target because, you know, Fiat 500s aren't exactly a car that gets everyone going. You know, not a lot of people are, you know, chomping at the bit to get one. But in terms of execution, Matchbox has done an incredible job here. Super happy to see this. We saw the 500X a few years ago. I say a few years ago, it's low-key been like, what, 6, 7 since that casting hit the main line. And now we get a moving parts version of the 500e to fill out the Fiat fleet for the few and fleeting fans, if you like my pun. Anyways, that's enough time on the Fiat 500e. Let's move into the second new model in the case, and the one I am super excited for. I was excited when they announced it, and I was really excited when I found out what they were going to do with it. This is the Mercedes-Benz Unimog U5023. That is a just incredible name. I'm sure that's something Mercedes wants. I know they tend to be particularly difficult with their licensing, whether it's for Lego, Hot Wheels, Matchbox, video games, things like that. They are always super, super, super strict about how things are done. But here is the Mercedes-Benz Unimog. Of course, the Unimog from the 2000s, 2005, 2006 when it was first released, is a staple of the first Matchbox Golden era. It has been around forever. It is just one of those Matchbox cars. Hot Wheels has a Unimog. It sucks. The Matchbox ones have always been better. And we now get a moving parts, bigger version, full-length bed. And I am extremely excited. I'll have to check. I actually don't know. There might be a variation in that bed. You can see this one gets what looks like a sickle and some other tools, maybe a fire extinguisher there. You can see the hatch on the roof of the vehicle. This is in German Polizei scheme. Is that how you say it in German? Polizei? I have no idea. But fantastic deco. They've used the Polizei scheme many, many times. It looks beautiful. Get it on the sides. As you can see, you get it on top of the hood, which is cool. Unfortunately, no rear deco and tail lights, and it looks like no headlights. Well, I don't know. We get the LM503 on the front. Is that what that says? Oh, no, it says Unimog. I'm dumb. The Tampa's just not great, so you can't really tell that. So interesting that gets Tampa and not the Mercedes logo. I'm wondering if that was just too difficult to do. But I'm going to guess this got 4 Tampa passes. 2 on the left, 1 on top of the hood, 1 on the front for the Unimog. Wow, so that is a 4 Tampa pass car. I guess it's just way too difficult to do all the sides. Anyways, enough talking about the deco. Let's talk about the actual moving part that I am so excited for. And that is this. This car can rock back and forth. They've never done this before with a car. You can rock it back and forth. How nifty is that? So it's 2 different chassis, and if you want to drive it over rocks, it'll do that. This is like the perfect sandbox car ever. I know I had a sandbox in my backyard when I was a kid, and I drive my cars around. I would have gone nuts if I had this thing, able to drive it over all the sand and the rocks. It would have been so freaking cool. Now, the one trade-off is that there is no interior. From what I can tell, I'm like 90% sure there's no interior. That's just a blacked out windshield. But yeah, and that's mainly because, well, it's like 4 separate pieces. You have 2 separate base pieces, basically, with the front and the back here. And that means you have 2 separate pieces here. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. And what is typically a 4-part casting. So stuff has to get removed, and that ends up being the interior and the windshield piece. So trade-offs are necessary, but I still think that is fantastic. I think it's really cool. Some people will be unhappy with the lack of interior. Honestly, like building-wise, it might be impossible, and even if it was, it probably would look not great because the pole to hold it all together would go right through the middle, right where the windshield is. So that's a super cool moving part. I love that. I think it's awesome. I don't know if people are going to have problems with that. For me personally, not really. I think that is so cool. I think that is so much fun, and I absolutely love that when it's all said and done. All right, next up, moving up to a version of a casting that I actually don't have a version of in my collection. This is the second release for it. It was released early in 2022 and was part of that wave 1 for moving parts that was really hard to find. This is the 2019 Ram Ambulance. I just call it the Rambulance to shorten it. I think there are other people that do that too, but I just call it the Rambulance because that's what it is. It's a Rambulance. But this was one, Matchbox, if there's one thing Matchbox collectors tend to love, it is emergency vehicles. It is one of the things they do best. They've been doing it for years. They pride themselves on doing realistic cars, city cars, cars you would see on the road, and they've always excelled in the fire trucks, in the ambulance, in things of that nature. That is their department. That is where they make a killing. So many people that you meet at the gathering that collect Matchbox are first responder and vehicles like this. This is what they love. This is what they collect. This is why they love Matchbox. And finally, I have one in hand. What makes this casting so great? Well, Matchbox back in the 2000s had some amazing ambulances that they did that were metal body. They were incredible. They were super nice. And then all of a sudden, those metal body ambulances started getting plastic backs and then just a metal truck front. And then all of a sudden, they went to metal bases and all plastic bodies, and they kind of suck because plastic bodied cars just aren't as good as metal body cars. They don't feel as good in hand. They don't look as good with paint. They feel cheap, and it's annoying. And at the $1 price point, it's never really been possible. It's just too expensive. There's too much metal. It's basically just not a profitable car to make. Well, now in the moving parts lines where Walmart's charging $2.50 and Target is charging $3 and you have more stuff to work with, just like you can add a moving part in extra pieces, you can go ahead and bring back the ambulance and make it all metal. Metal cab, metal back, just incredible detail. You can see front deco. Now, still plastic base. If this was chromed out, if this was all metal, it would look incredible. I think this is a lock for a gathering model at some point, just because of how big it is. And if they go metal base, that would be incredible. I think it'll be a gathering model at some point. Anyways, headlights, tampoed grille, looks really, really good. Disc wheels look good. We get the fire department deco on the sideline, or on the sideline, excuse me, on the side. This is the El Segundo. Well, it says Matchbox Fire Department, El Segundo, California. So it is not El Segundo licensed, excuse me. But of course, El Segundo is where Matchbox and Mattel are located as a brand in terms of their headquarters. Unit 23 ambulance, crew number 2. You go to the back, no detailing on it, but it is where you get this glorious moving part that is so damn impossible to open. I should not have trimmed my nails. I'm not going to be able to get it open. My fingernails are too short, and I don't want to break the doors and, like, force it open. Let's see. Oh, there it goes. It kind of fell open. Wait. Goodness, this video is going to be 20 minutes long just because I can't open the doors. There we go. Finally, pry them open. Those are metal. Are they metal? Yes, these are metal too. They're not plastic, so everything metal on the body. You can see what is basically an incredibly detailed interior. Unfortunately, my lighting is just not good enough. Perks of living in temporary housing for an internship. I don't have my full lighting studio so you can see it, but I can see it more clearly than you guys can. It's pretty detailed. I'd be very interested if you unscrewed one of these, what it would look like on the inside. Anyways, that's awesome. Light bar on the top, just well executed, really cool. Happy to finally have one. It's an amazing casting. I'm just not paying the prices they were going for Mix 1. It is not necessarily something that belongs. I love Matchbox. I love the moving parts line, but I don't need to spend. If it was like a Lamborghini or something I deeply cared about, I would, but it's just, that's not what I don't deeply care about ambulances. But this is a fantastic model to add to the collection. Moving right along, the 1965 Land Rover Gen 2 pickup makes its second or third appearance. This appeared in the second to last wave of 2022 that was like never seen barely, and then it hit Walmart's for like a couple weeks, and people were able to find it. It was in orange. I believe it might have been part of that wave 1 that was so hard to find too. Anyways, classic throwback, or maybe not throwback, but classic Land Rover deco here. Matchbox did for Matchbox, not for Land Rover itself. Matchbox did a Land Rover, what, couple years ago? 1 year, 2 year, 3 years ago. In this deco, it's their, I'm spacing on the name of the Land Rover, but it's their super popular, you know, big caravan one. And now they bring over this version, this new Land Rover, and they give it a matching deco. And this is something the Matchbox has always done super well. They carry over liveries, whether they are licensed or unlicensed, for similar cars to build sets of them and just make them more collectible and make them feel more complete. Hot Wheels really only does this with like licensed liveries like Moon Eyes and Falcon. They don't carry it too much from car to car, which has always bugged me. Matchbox does a great job of that. So relatively average car and casting, in my opinion. I personally don't care for it, but you know, since it is now part of a licensed livery, I'll happily add it to the mini collection that I'm building. So yeah, nice one. All right, moving right along. This is bound to be the most popular in the set for collectors in general. Maybe not for Matchbox collectors, but diecast collectors. This is the most popular. It's been the hardest to find. It's the only one I have not found multiple of. These cases hit my Target in droves that is near me. And the first time they hit, this was gone. The second time they hit, there was only one left on the pegs. Every other car, there's been multiple of on the pegs. This one has been the exception. This is the Volkswagen Golf MK 1995. Now, this was a new model in 2022. It was in that second to last wave that was hard to find, which I did finally just complete, by the way. So I will be uploading a video on that probably in a week or two. I just chose to record this first because this is more recent and this is what people are going to care about. So this is the recolor. It's not the original version or the first edition, but I now have it open before I have the first edition open, which I find funny. Even though I found the first edition like 3 months ago, I couldn't find that stupid brown 911 Porsche, and I finally found it at a diecast shop for $2, which was sick. Anyways, I'll talk about that in that video. Here's the recolor. The first one was very stock and very nice maroon. This one feels like a car that was found and restored to its former glory. Some beautiful, beautiful white 6 spokes on it. A incredible, I don't know if you want to call it blue. It's probably teal is the correct term for this. Aqua, color, green, whatever you want to call it. This just looks like someone who had a love for Volkswagen, had a love for golfs, went out, found one, you know, on Facebook Marketplace or someplace like that was run down, took it, put a lot of work into it, made it their project car, made it their passion, and rebuilt it, which I think is just so, so cool. Anyways, taking a look at the car itself, nice long body for this Golf. You get the headlights, just absolutely incredible detail there. Come around, you get the tail lights, VW Golf on the rear. Opening trunk, which I will say it a million times, my favorite method of opening part, though the or I guess not suspension, but I don't know what you would call that for the Mercedes, the torque, I don't know, the moving axle, the moving chassis is now my favorite, or close to my favorite, but the trunk, forever special, and just plain stock look for the Golf. Absolutely love to see that. One of the lesser represented versions of the Golf here. What is this? Like the oh, Jesus. I don't know my VW Golf generations. Don't make fun of me. I just know it's not one of the super represented generations of Golf, and it's a 90s Golf, which is super cool. Love to see it. Anyways, last casting, one that I really do love. I believe this is the third color we've gotten of it now, the 1978 Subaru Brat. We've seen it in white and red. We've seen it in red and white. And now, get ready for what I believe is the exact same deco. I don't have my collection with me to check, but I believe this is the same deco that's on the first two in blue and white. The exhilarating, what is this? Sequel, threequel. Anyways, it completes the Triple Crown, the trio, whatever you want to call it, the trilogy of Subaru Brats now in the moving parts line. This is by far the most beautiful color. The red and white and red were good. I thought, you know, fine. This blue and white is beautiful. I bought the other versions, and I'm happy with them. This is by far the best version. And if I could only keep one for the Subaru Brat, this would be it. Anyways, starting with the side, we get that signature Brat striping, 4x4 in the back. Oh God. Just the reverse seats. So freaking cool. Such a great detail and so well done by Matchbox. Fortunately, tampoing on the rear, you get the white stripe, but no license plate and taillights? That doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know why that's done that way. That doesn't make sense. Whatever. Doesn't matter because we get a tampoed engine, and I love tampoed engines. While the moving parts hoods don't always look the best. Oh, that is very sparkly blue. I thought it was just a plain blue. It's very sparkly. Nice. Anyways, pop it open. Well, bam. Oh, it's not tampoed. I lied. It's just multi-tiered. It's got two different plastics going on. Or is it tampoed? Maybe it is. I can't freaking tell. It looks great. That's all I know. It's really well done. Anyways, I dragged this video out way too long. I spent like 5 minutes talking about the Fiat for some reason. But that is the 6-car set. All in all, just, you know, is it the most exciting, most exhilarating line of moving parts cars ever? No. Is it just all around solid and really good? Absolutely. There's nothing on this list outside of maybe the Golf that's going to blow people away and be a must-have and, you know, go down in history as one of the best moving parts models of all time. But, I mean, in terms of just a solid mix full of cars people are going to like, you get it all. You get that new Unimog with the new moving chassis. The Golf is going to be the most popular and just, you know, a great looking version of that casting. The Rambulance, we love to see it. It looks so freaking good. Glad to finally have it accessible to everyone. The Subaru Brat's in a beautiful color. The Land Rover is there, and the Fiat 500, while it's not the most exciting pick, is a beautifully executed new model. Anyways, that's all for now. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, guys. Let me know what you want to see next. I'll see you later. Peace.